Coming to you live from the piercing stand, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who's the king of the porta potty. I am Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. That was potty with D's, okay? Big Brother 24 is here. Oh, my God. We're back. All right, ready to talk about it. Excited to hear how this goes as 16 new house guests arrived at the Big Brother house, and they were slimed, they were tested, and we have our first HOH and a backstage boss and much more. And here to talk about it, a great panel. Of course, here with us first, the voice of the people is here. It's Melissa Deni. Melissa, how are you tonight?
I am doing great. I'm so excited to start the new season. It is basically about what I expected. I feel like lately we've been having these like long drawn out, like first episode competitions. I personally don't care to watch competitions. I'd much prefer to see the house guests interacting with each other.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've come to expect this. So I thought that it was going to go about this way. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Of course, here to talk about everything tonight. Of course, my co-host for the Nothing But Netflix podcast, Chappell, is here. Chappell, how are you?
Rob, I'm a bit whelmed. I'm not gonna lie to you. Feeling whelmed.
Yeah.
I think I'm the problem. I think I'm the drama here. I think for me, the anticipation of like Big Brother, it just builds up so much, and I get so excited about the cast, and then they make us wait until the day before, and then it's all like all the drama and stuff, and that little short preseason we had, like 13 hours of preseason, and then the show happens, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot we do this on episode 1. I forgot we spend the entire time watching them compete. That's fun. And so I am happy that Big Brother is back, but I am ready to get down into the nitty gritty and really start talking about why we like the show, because this was just like teaser, you know. We got action on the horizon, just not today.
Okay, well, let's find out if what we got here tonight was worth it. The trade-off is then we'll have night 1 feeds. Let's find out from our chief Big Brother correspondent, Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
I'm great, Rob. Yeah, it's look, the premiere, it's not the real premiere is when the feeds start. In how many hours? Like 3, 2.5. That's when the season really starts in earnest. That's when we're really going to be excited. Unfortunately, what happened is we gave out backstage passes to Melissa and Chappell, and they had to come on the fake premiere podcast.
Okay. All right. Well, you have backstage passes. Okay. So that means you're not safe. You can't be nominated, though. And then people are going to also vote. Yeah. You getting all this?
Maybe. Yes. I think so. So it's a bad / good thing, or
It's good to be backstage boss. It's bad to be a different backstage person.
Yeah, you if you're backstage and you're not the boss, you're in trouble.
Okay,
that's not good.
Got it. Yeah.
All right, chat. I'm gonna need you to vote between Melissa and Chappell. Who's gonna be safe?
No, please. Just
I'm not
break
surviving
it to me right
this
now.
vote. I'll tell you that.
No, break it to me now. I'm leaving. Melissa's the voice of the people.
You know what? Let's just both leave. You know
what? We can go.
We'll go.
We can go. Yeah.
You guys
I'm sorry, but you're not allowed out of backstage. I don't think that's how it works.
No.
Sorry. Okay. Just here we are live on Wednesday night that we are kicking off our Big Brother coverage. We'll have episode recaps after every episode of a Big Brother 24 this season. And tomorrow morning, starting at 11 a.m., Taran Armstrong is going to kick off the daily live feed coverage of a Big Brother 24. So make sure you are in the right place. If you are joining us for the first time or here back at the start of the season, make sure you subscribe to Rob Has a Podcast. You can catch all of our Big Brother podcasts when you subscribe for free. Go to robhasawebsite.com/BB24 to get the links to subscribe to Rob Has a Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. That's at robhasawebsite.com/BB24. 24. And later on in the show, we'll tell you about some of the stuff we are doing for our patrons for this season of a Big Brother. And we have a great offer for an annual membership for the patrons. But more on that later. Okay. So we got our premiere, and really we've been doing these live premieres for the last 3 seasons. Yes, we get the night one feeds, but Melissa, do you miss the old format of the Big Brother premiere?
It is lacking, I would say. I think like it's certainly a trade-off. I mean, I really, really appreciate the night one feeds. So I don't want to sit there and be like, oh no, give us back the original premiere. But I have to say, as a premiere episode goes, I like the old format better just because I like to see the interactions. I like to see like the diary rooms where they're like, okay, so I see this big buff guy and I'm really scared, like just so that we can get a vibe check for like, oh, this guy wants to work with the guys. This girl wants, to like have a showmance, whatever. And I think like it to have like, and even like those little intercut diary room sessions that were like talking about the house or like having Daniel cry, like I did appreciate that. So it made me miss having, at least some sort of understanding of what they're thinking going into it. And to be honest, I don't like the competitions anyway. I never pay attention to them. I'm just like, yeah, who wins? So it kind of loses my interest, I'll say, but I really do like the night one feeds. So I don't want to sit there and say and be too harsh on it because I really want them to keep that.
Okay. All right. That was very measured, Melissa.
Yes. Well, yeah, I'm trying to be because I really don't want that. I mean, look, why am I don't even care. They don't listen to me. They don't care. Like, what am I saying? Like, they're going to watch this podcast and be like, oh God, well, they didn't like it. So, cut the night one feeds.
You say that now, but yeah, when Alison Grodner stops with the night one feeds, she's going to be like, well, Melissa Deni, voice of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, I got to go with it. I got to go with it.
Correct
So,
people.
yeah, no, I mean, I think also I feel like I've just lowered my expectations so much for these premiere episodes that I don't care anymore.
All right. Did you lower your expectations enough for exploding porta potties?
I think it is extremely not cool to dress them up in their finest and then splatter them with paint with no regard for feathers or accoutrements that are on their outfits. So I think they could have given them a little cover or something, or kind of kept it up to the face or something. I don't know, but I just felt so bad for them, especially Jasmine with her feathered ensemble. I mean, there's no way they're getting that paint out.
All right, I got to jump in here. I first of all, the old format of the premieres was also terrible. It was like 40 minutes of intros, and then like 5-minute scene of them introducing themselves, and then another like 15 minutes of competition. And it was just as bad, in my opinion. This is messy. It's weird and it's awkward and it's boring at times. But like, that's Big Brother to me. I'm okay with the awkwardness. I'm okay with the weirdness. And I loved that they messed up their clothes. I thought it added. I thought the porta potty segment of the episode was the best part of the premiere.
The highlight.
The highlight of the premiere. And now, because don't get me wrong, when I saw them go into the porta potty and I started hearing the voice of the questions, I was like, oh my God, I can never admit to watching the show ever again.
I mean, imagine being a first-time viewer and seeing this. Like, I mean, you would not think. You wouldn't even know what was going on because it would literally just be like, oh, so this is like kind of like Wipeout or something where you're just watching a bunch of people like compete in like silly things to make them look stupid. I just feel like it's like you don't get the sense that this is like a competition show at all. Like in terms of strategy, you think it's like, okay, well, they just do these small little competitions and then somebody wins the week and that's that. Like it doesn't give you a good like idea of what Big Brother is at all to me. So that's partly why I like the old format. Look, I know, whatever. It's like,
the old format, maybe, but like for years it was pretty lame in my eyes. But like, I'm listening to the voices go like talking about I went number 2. I need to go number 1. And I was like,
number 1 and number 2.
And at this point in time, they're wearing goggles, and I am fully fully expecting that slime to not be blue. You know what I'm talking? You know what I'm talking about. Like that's what I thought. That's where we were going, and I was about to have to. I was going to shut my stream down. I was going to say I'm packing it up. We're no more Big Brother.
Yeah. So I feel like that inside the porta potty is like there. I think there's blue stuff at the bottom of the porta potty.
Oh, it's like the blue cleaning.
Like the
Yeah, I think it's the stuff.
I think we're giving them too much credit. I think they were just like, let's just
right.
splash
That would have
them
been
with
a
something.
choice to have like some sort of like explosive gastrointestinal distress.
Oh, you mean shit?
I don't know if that would get through standards and practices. I feel like that would be a little much.
The second they got blued, I loved it. I was into it. I was like, because they all were freaking out because they're in their premiere outfits, and now they're acting like they cared more about that competition than any other competition they'll compete in all season long. And watching Kyle be like, no, not my outfit, was fantastic. Nicole completely disappearing in the she just everything went blue and she just vanished. I loved it.
Chappelle.
Okay, so let's say I wrap my mind around the porta potty thing. I say, and I'm explaining this to people. They say, "Oh, you talk about this show on a podcast?" I say, "Yeah, I'm a very serious journalist. This is what I do." "Oh, well, what show do you watch? You watch Big Brother?" "Yeah, well, explain to me what it is." It's, I've gone from it's a social strategy game where you try to outlast it. No, I don't do the whole it's Survivor but in a house thing. I say you remember back in the 90s we had What Would You Do and Figure It Out and just a bunch of Nickelodeon shows where you just for random reasons you get slimed and gacked and gunked and all this other stuff. That's what this is for adults, for roughly 47-year-olds to 22-year-olds, depending on the season. That's what this is. So that way, everybody's expectations are as low as mine, and I don't have to feel embarrassed because people love nostalgia. When I think back on this show, I think of them doing similar stuff to this as well. I cannot get that image of what is it, Jerry getting out of that pool of slime with
Jello,
his song on. Yeah,
sure.
It's burned into my head, and so this is not out of the ordinary. This is just. Let's just look at it different. We matured, the show did not. And so let's just go with that. So I would have preferred that everybody get slimed. Now, that's what would have pissed me off.
Yeah.
If I'm doing the piercing and I'm like, I'm clean. Thank God. But if I'm over there in the porta potty, I'm like, oh, nah, baby, you got to give me a hug or something like that because everybody's getting blue if I'm blue. We all get blue.
But the cognitive dissonance that it requires to be a fan of this show, because people talk about Big Brother, that and many of us included, okay, in such with so serious that this is such a that this is
Who
such
would
an
do that?
important,
a very serious
important,
show.
important show. And this is that they had almost a year to come up with. Okay, what are we doing on night one?
Porta potties at festivals can get a little messy, so please put on your goggles.
Shirt. Come on. Not the shirt.
Oh, not a line you hear often, if ever, at porta potties, I hope.
Yeah.
I mean, speak for yourself, Julie.
Right. Julie hasn't gone to enough festivals. Listen.
Yeah.
My point is I'm more upset about the eyebrow piercing, the face piercing thing.
Okay.
That is so mundane. In comparison to what we know for Big Brother. We watch people put piercings on their face for a solid 3 minutes. Just sat there okay.
Yeah,
oh,
could
look,
we
it
have
fell off.
seen the picture of what we were trying to copy?
We got nothing.
At any point?
We got nothing.
The live production of competitions is unbelievably bad for how many years they've had to perfect it. This from the second they introduced this competition, it was clear it was going to be terrible to watch because how are we supposed to track how many pieces of jewelry they have on their face? We don't even know what they're supposed to be aiming for. We can't watch all of them at the same time. So this is one of those competitions where you just have to wait and watch them finish it. And then they do one that's much better, much easier to watch, right? They're going to hang. All 5 of them are going to hang, and we just need to watch them drop one by one. Very easy to show that live. And they still screwed it up by cutting away from the 5 people who were hanging, and they miss the first person to drop. Like, what are you doing? It's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, for the jewelry one, the only explanation I can think is that they were like, oh, it'll be funny to see them put all the, like, they're going to look silly. Like, once again, just like, hopefully they'll look stupid.
Yeah. Chappell, tell me, did anybody on the creative team, have they ever been to a festival?
No, they have no clue what's going on at the festival. There were not enough. There were drugs involved, but not in the competition, clearly, because somebody thought that this would be very entertaining, and I would not say that this was. I would say that this was the opposite. I mean, it was kind of suspenseful. I'm not gonna lie, to see the moments of, like, if you paid attention to the cast bios in the 13 hours we had, like, you might have people that you're rooting for or even against. So I'll give you that. Each round, I was kind of on the edge of my seat to see who won, but honestly, none of this really gave me festival vibes. I remember the rave that we did, the Big Brother takeover when Gronk showed up. Remember all that stuff? Like, that stuff was fun. This was less fun. But I can't tell if I like this theme more than I liked last year. So last year was like Atlantic City, right in the desert. Wasn't it something like that? And so this is Palm Springs.
Atlantic City in the desert. Yeah,
I love this theme. I think it's really fun, the festival theme. I think that there's a lot of really cool stuff they can do with it. I don't know if they will do anything cool with it, but I think that it's a cool vibe. I think that the house itself, like, at first I was very like, what the heck is this? But then I saw, like, closer up of each individual room, and I love the living room. Very Palm Springsy, very Coachella. And I know you guys were saying, like, well, what does Palm Springs have to do with anything? It's Coachella. That's the vibe at Coachella, is people stay in these Palm Springs guest houses or Airbnbs or whatever, and then they go to Coachella. Porta potties,
that too,
like, etc.
Yeah.
But like, that's the vibe, is like, that's very Coachella. And I think that the living room looks great. I think they were going for like a Googie vibe in the dining room and the kitchen, but I don't know if it fully lands for me. I think I'm gonna have to see it a little closer. But yeah, it's I really do like the theme a lot, and I think it's much better. I mean, I am so sick of beach. I'm so sick of under the sea or whatever. I'm so sick of, like, casino. So I'm very glad to see this new theme, something very different, and the house isn't too crazy. Like, everyone knows I hate, like, the Big Brother Canada house where it's blinding and it's horrible. This looks more like kind of like a normal house at points. There are obviously some rooms that don't look normal, but I do think that, like, for the most part, it looks like a normal house, and that's always good for me. I'm always happy to see it. Very nice on the eyes when you're watching the live feed. So yeah, honestly, I think it's good.
Okay. Let's talk about the little bit of the game developments that we got. We'll talk about the HOH, but I want to talk about Backstage Boss and what's going on here with these other nominees or people that are pseudo nominees, that one of them could end up as the third nominee on eviction night, Taran?
It's unclear. So obviously what happened is Pooch became the backstage boss, and then he had to choose 3 people to also go backstage with him. Pooch is safe from nomination and eviction. The other 3 are not safe from eviction. I think they might be safe from nomination, which would only sort of further imply that maybe one of them eventually becomes a nominee. But so basically those 3 people, and we can talk about the choice and the people, but those 3 people are now in a fan vote to save one of them. And the terms for the voting say, come eviction night, one of the 3 backstage pass holders will be in jeopardy of going home, which to me implies that that one of them will be in danger and 2 of them will be safe, which means another one will eventually become safe. And then if there's only one that's eligible to go home, that implies again to me that perhaps they're going to be added to the nomination pool, and there might be a third nominee. And so it might be something like one of them is safe from the vote, then the other 2 compete, and the loser becomes a third nominee post-veto situation. Maybe.
And when is the voting open until? Are we voting now?
It ends at 9 a.m. Pacific, July 14th.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
what?
So we have.
Wait, what? Jesus
That
Christ.
doesn't make any sense.
So
Okay.
what?
So basically, that would be on eviction night, the first eviction night of the season. So we're gonna have like 8 days to vote on this.
I kind of like that. And here's why. Because now we get to see, like, we actually have some agency in who we're picking. Because if we had to just vote tonight, it would be based off of almost nothing. So now we get to see a whole week of, is this person actually going to try to play the game, what they're doing, who they're going to align with, and we can kind of try to tilt the scale in our own favor as the audience. And so I'd rather that than us just voting blindly on one of these three women, because it's like they didn't really get a chance to show us much. So at least now we get to say, like, okay, come Tuesday, okay, they're going to align with this person. I don't like that person. That's who I want out. So I think people should be saving their votes. Or was it, you could vote, I guess, 10 times a day. So I guess you could vote however many times you want right now. But I mean, come the end of the week, that's when it's going to get kind of sticky.
Yeah, so this voting period definitely implies that I am not correct, that it won't go down one at a time, because if they don't save one first, then all three of them must still be eligible for not being safe all the way up until eviction night, which means one will be saved, two will still be vulnerable. Maybe there's some sort of they're not gonna have like a live competition, dude, will they? Like, I don't know.
Will
I'm lost
Pooch
now.
get to decide to save one also?
Maybe
He is the backstage boss.
It is true. And she Julie said that two people will have power, right? Not just the HOH. Is two people will have power. So maybe it is. Maybe Pooch saves one and then the other one goes becomes a third nominee or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. All right. We'll, obviously have a lot more to say about that. Melissa, we have not heard your thoughts on the cast. Taran and I got together and did a quick preview of the 16 people we thought were going into the house. We ended up getting the late change after Marvin came off the board. Do you have any thoughts about this cast?
Yeah, I mean, I will say that after seeing this episode tonight, I have different feelings on certain people than I did during the interviews. Although, to be fair, we only had like one set of interviews.
Yep.
But
Sharon Tharp and Mike Bloom
yeah.
doing a lot of work for us yesterday.
Yes, I wish Mike would give video interviews, but so we could get some of that. But it is nice to at least get the questions. So yeah, I feel like watching them in their intro packages, a lot of them gave me very different vibes than I got initially. I mean, Jasmine especially, certainly did not expect her to come in on a tractor. So that was new.
Let's go through all of them in the groups of four. It's because otherwise this will be a very short podcast. So let's do it that way. But Chappell, can I ask you a pointed question? Early in the day, on your amazing Twitter feed, that on Tuesday, you posted a rather cryptic tweet. You posted, and I'm paraphrasing, "Hey, trust me, don't draft Marvin in your Big Brother drafts. He's not going to win." And later on Tuesday, Marvin was pulled from the cast of Big Brother 24. Was there something about Marvin that rubbed you the wrong way personally, or did you have inside information that Marvin would not be lasting?
Or did you have a part in this?
Oh,
yeah. Some people also have thought that you took Marvin out.
Yeah.
Well, for one, if I was going to take someone out, it would not have been Marvin. So we're going to start there. But listen, I cannot reveal my sources or my means of getting this information, but trust me on this one. Listen, let's just look back at the Survivor draft. I was able to meme Shannon and still pick the grenade and still win the draft. Like, just listen, I do this professionally. Rob, you hired a serious journalist. I'm here to do the hard work. I knew Sharon and Mike couldn't do it. They couldn't do this one. They have to protect their brands. I have no brand. I'm brandless. And so I said, let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's just air it out. Now, people didn't believe me. They didn't trust me. They said he's crazy. It's insane. How can he say these things? It's so unfounded. But now look, Marvin's at home watching the show just like you and I knew it. So, that's all I have to say about that, Rob. I'm on the record as saying like it's above me. I just report the news. I don't make it.
What I'm hearing is
Very
that he made a
impressive.
prediction and then he made sure the prediction came true. That's what I'm hearing.
By any means necessary.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I do what I
You
have
can't
to
be
do.
proven wrong. What are
I
they
mean, at
thinking?
this point, who's going to tell Marvin? Ask Christy about me.
I
No, I'm
can't
kidding.
wait for Marvin's first tweet when he gets home to be don't pick Chappelle on the podcast.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Trust me.
He wishes. Marvin was pushed.
Let's go through our 16 house guests that came in. The first 4 was Jasmine, Kyle, Paloma, and Monty. And Melissa, as you were saying, Jasmine got us started here. And she's a Southern belle.
I honestly I knew that she had an accent, but I really didn't expect her to have the Nicole Franzel like trailer or whatever thing. I really didn't expect
trailer.
that.
Mhm.
What tractor, whatever. Tractor trailer, maybe.
Oh, I
Is she
thought
dragging
Yeah,
something?
definitely.
Yeah. But
I
wait,
don't
the trailer, like her intro video?
Yeah, the trailer
Yeah.
with the tractor in it.
The trailer with the
That's
tractor. Right.
Here, dragging a trailer. Yeah, it all
Mhm.
comes together.
Yeah.
It's double meaning. I got this. So yeah, no, I just feel like I was very surprised to see that. And then of course they flipped over being like, well, actually now I live in Atlanta and like, here's my press on nails. So I was like, okay, this makes more sense to me. I was getting that vibe initially, but I felt like I liked her a lot more in this package than I did initially in the interviews. I felt like she was more like in it when I was watching the package versus the interviews. During the interviews, I was kind of like, I don't know if she cares about this. Like, I don't know what's going on. But I do feel like she's in it. I felt like the Kyle one was really weird. I feel like he's harping too much on the fact that he does videos with his mom. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's like he's like trying to like use his mom to like be big on TikTok. I don't really know what's going on here, but I thought it was
You're saying his mom should be on the show, not him?
No, I just think that like it's bizarre to me that he's like, yeah, I make dance videos with my mom. When like I've seen a bunch of TikToks that he does by himself. So like I think he's used like playing that up, like, oh look, me and my mom, we're pals, like to get like some sort of mom vote or something. I don't know. But it just feels like feels like he's really focused on the fact that he's like a mama's boy or something. I'm a little confused by
Yeah,
it. So
you definitely talk about it a lot
yeah. So it was a little
in that
much for me.
5 seconds.
Yeah, in like literally 5 seconds. And then like
Mhm.
also I'm unemployed and also I live at home and also I don't tell people I do. It's like I don't know. I feel like he was trying to downplay himself so much that it ended up coming across like why are you saying all this stuff so much? Like why is this your intro? Like I'm sure there are other things to you than just like these negative things. I don't know. So I'm gonna see how he does, but it did seem like he's really like on and very like animated and very talkative, and I don't know if that's going to end up grading on the house guests, but he certainly was featured a lot, and his whole like I dance all the time and I'm going to be dancing. It's like it is a lot, and maybe it's just played up for the cameras for now, and then once the live feeds come on or whatever, we'll realize that he's like very low key, but like it is a lot.
Yeah, Kyle did teach me something, Rob, which is that I don't understand TikTok.
I don't understand TikTok.
Yeah, like people say that like, oh, he's social media, so he's kids. I watch some of his TikTok videos and I do like I feel like an old man because I'm like I don't understand what he's even saying in half of them.
I don't get what the appeal is. And like, I feel like there's so many, like the appeal of like just some of the dancing things. It's just like, you're just
he's usually shirtless. I think that's the appeal.
That's the thing. It's like, you have to be like hot. I think I get it. Like, I mean, I think it's like you have to be like really hot and
Okay.
then do some simple move where you're not wearing many clothes, like, and just making sure your hands are seen because
Yeah.
that's all that people can see anyway. So like, it'd be like,
hands must be seen.
yeah, hands have to be in it.
Can you wear
should-
clothes
I need
on
to,
your
like, yeah, I need
hands,
to
or
just,
do they
like,
have to
rip
be
off
no
my
clothed
shirt or
hands?
something and be like,
Mittens.
I don't know. Is that a good TikTok?
No, I think
I don't think
you
we're
nailed
allowed
it,
to weigh in
honestly.
on that. Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
you nailed it.
Okay,
As far
thank
as
you.
like the whole
I
strategy
feel like
of
I'm
just
getting it.
you just put your hands up and move around a little bit. Listen, I will pay money to get him to stop dancing. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I started a GoFundMe. I started to change our order petition. You know, people are not moving on this fast enough. This is an election year for me right now. Like, I would like to make this happen for me. So please, if
Mhm.
you all could just retweet my link, please. I will retweet it out after this and just be like, hey, let's just get Kyle to never TikTok again. Ever. Like, I mean, he can do
Mhm.
other things on TikTok. I'm sure he could read stuff, poetry. He could do like history lessons. I'm really tapped into exorcism TikTok these days. He could go do something like that. I just really don't want him to dance anymore. And so I know we're going to get a lot of that. And honestly, I think I should blame Chada for this. She did all
The
that
dancing?
TikToking and
The
stuff.
TikTok-
Yeah,
oh, the
Brittany was a
TikToking.
TikToker, and now we got
I
a
don't know,
professional TikToker. Like,
I feel I saw
It's
some
their
of
fault.
Hannah. I saw some of Chada's TikToks, and I felt like they made sense.
I do too for her. I just think
Mhm.
that there are other people who it don't make sense for who get popular off of it and say, "Put me on TV. I can do this." Like, I want him out of the house now, and I'm sure he's a nice fellow. I just don't
Yes.
care to see him anymore.
So I've done this long enough to know I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum.
Yeah.
And that he has a following for a
Oh
reason.
yeah, the people. Well, he is very attractive.
Yes. And so
We don't want to say he's not. He's
Right.
very
He can put-
attractive.
He could
He's
TikTok.
got the glasses, so he looks. I mean, like, to be fair, like when I watched
We know
his
Melissa likes
initial-
glasses.
I love the
Mhm.
glasses. When I
You do
first
love the
saw,
glasses.
remember Jesse?
Yeah,
Remember Jesse?
Remember Jesse?
we all remember Jesse.
Anyway.
Good times.
Mr.
No, but like,
Spectacular?
no,
Yeah,
Jesse
yeah.
from Big Brother Canada.
Oh.
He put
Oh,
on
that's
the
who I-
glasses and it was like it was like Clark Kent turning into Superman, I swear. Anyway, so anyway,
They were-
I digress. Okay.
Melissa,
when
jeez.
when I saw him with the glasses and he's really attractive and you're like, okay, like, and he's like seems really sweet, like you're like, I totally get it. But I do feel like it's like playing it up too much is too much. And when he even said like, oh, I look like a Ken doll, it was a little like, okay, we're allowed to say that, but you're not allowed to say that about yourself, or else it looks like a put on. I don't know. It makes it look like you're doing the glasses on purpose because you're trying to like, dumb it down. And that's
Those
not
people that do the glasses on purpose.
the
It's a
people that
thing.
wear glasses on purpose.
Yeah.
It's like
Unbelievable.
Mhm.
you're
Yeah.
supposed to put on glasses without knowing that it makes you attractive. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
I just listen, like I said, I'm sure he will have a lucrative career on TikTok.
Right.
I just don't want him on Big Brother anymore. That's it.
Mhm.
That's like
Look,
nothing against him.
I don't understand it, but I'm impressed by it. He
Yeah.
speaks another language that I don't understand,
that's okay.
and it works for him. Fantastic. We'll see how it translates to the Big Brother house.
Yeah, I would
I'm an
love
old.
to have that sort of following on TikTok, but I don't.
Same.
I don't understand.
Yeah, if
it, so
I
can't do
if I
it.
could do that, I probably wouldn't, but I would probably think about it.
Mhm.
thing
Yeah, I
is,
mean, it
you
seems
could
like
do
a lot
that.
of effort.
Yeah, no, it not what he's doing. It doesn't actually. It actually looks like it looks effortless, if you will.
But you have to think of these things.
When it
You
when it
do-
looks effortless, it means that it took a lot of work to make it look effortless.
I can tell. And I can tell. Next person, please.
Yeah, let's talk about Paloma, who I feel like did not get a lot here either. We saw like the brief segment. She is got her real estate license, but I feel like I don't know a lot about Paloma.
I really like her.
She's
I
nice.
really loved her. No, I loved her interviews. I really did. I thought that she came across as very, very strategic, and I thought that she knew the game. She's a fan. And then I felt like she easily kind of got along with people. I mean, obviously we're getting just like brief snippets, but when she then was like, oh, it's VIP, and like kind of made a joke about the like getting this backstage pass. I feel like people are gonna like her. I just think she is like a good energy, and I don't know. I got a good feeling about her. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't know. I like her.
I'm on the lookout. I'm gonna see how she arranges things in the bedroom that she chooses, because she's here in San Diego, and I need to see if she's gonna interior design my house.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Listen, I liked Paloma. I was a big fan. I was rooting for Paloma throughout her intro, and I was just like, yeah, like, yes, she's into sales. That's good, because you got to be able to convince people of stuff. And then she said Mayo is her boyfriend, and I canceled this one.
Mayonnaise is my boyfriend.
Why? Paloma, please love yourself. Like,
I love
what is the
mayonnaise.
reason?
I
No, you
love
don't.
mayonnaise.
Stop
I do.
that.
Melissa.
I do. Have you?
Please.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like mayonnaise on a turkey sandwich, deviled eggs. I mean, there's so many uses for mayonnaise. There's
But
delicious.
you ain't gotta date it.
Oh well, true. Sorry,
Hey.
I'm taking mayonnaise. I can't.
Exactly. Dang, mayonnaise for everybody, but it ain't for
But
me.
mayonnaise with glasses. I don't
Mayonnaise with
know.
glasses. Good. I can't do the Paloma. She had me, but like
This
if
is
she
what happens when we.
and Paloma
There's,
is
like,
Paloma
nothing
up
to
for the
talk-
vote? Is she up
I
for the-
believe
Okay.
Pooch put her in the backstage group.
Yeah.
Does she know how damning this could be? Look,
Yeah.
people have to vote on you based off of this.
Chappelle,
What
are
type
you
of
out on
mayonnaise?
Paloma for the vote?
It's tough. It's tough. I'm not 100%. I there are people who have my attention more just because they did not confess their love to mayonnaise. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look, are you pro or anti mayonnaise is going to be the talk of the town this week as we get these votes in. Single issue voters are going to be all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're voting out mayonnaise and Kyle.
Dancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise and dancing.
And then we got Monty also in the first four. Monty would go on to win one of the parts of the challenge, the porta potty challenge himself.
I thought it
Personal
was
fitness coach.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Again, loved the porta potty segment. I loved the fact that Kyle was hovering over the 3 button the entire time, waiting to press it as soon as it ended. And Monty's just sitting there. And Kyle's like, almost pressed it. And then Monty just buzzes in right before the end. It's like, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They weren't clear on the rules. They didn't say you had to wait for like a ding or a bell. It was just like whenever you feel like it, just buzz
just
in.
like buzz. Yeah, at first I was like, wait, they all buzzed in really early, but I guess that's what you're supposed to do. I really like Monty, right? That's how you say it, Monty.
Yeah.
I really liked him. I liked his intro package. I felt like he was really personable and intelligent, and I feel like he's strategic. And yeah, I don't know. I get good vibes from him. I think the concern I would have for him is honestly just like physical, prowess. I guess people being like intimidated. I don't know, but I do really like him.
Yeah, the thing about Monty for me is that he seems like the kind of guy that wouldn't wear glasses on purpose.
Yeah. He
And
does.
probably wouldn't date mayonnaise.
Would not date mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
So-
don't know.
That's a negative in my book.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
As far as Monty is, looks like that he could do well in the challenges. Is that a reason, Taran, that people actually do get eliminated from Big Brother in the modern era? Like, I know, Christian last season, was winning challenges, but if you just look like you could win challenges, is that enough to send somebody home?
No. In fact, I would say looking like you will win challenges or even winning challenges makes you more likely to be included in groups because people want you to be on their side. And then if you keep winning challenges and you're not in the core group, aka Christian, that's when you can get in trouble. But the real danger is when you look like you're an outsider and you win challenges and you're not included in groups and people see you as a threat that's outside of their group. And so being able to win some challenges early to establish that you're a competitor so that you can be included in groups is great. But if you're already outside of the group and you start winning challenges, you start seeming like a threat, that's when you get targeted for being a threat.
And he did win the porta potty challenge.
He did win the porta potty challenge.
Good for Monty.
Physical fitness.
I think Monty needs to find someone who really knows the game. I'm not getting the vibe that Monty really knows what he's talking about. A lot of them kind of just know of the game or like are familiar with a few seasons, but I think Monty needs to find someone who is really driving the strategy of the game, because normally the person driving the strategy is looking to get the Monty character out at some point. Like they don't want to go to the end with this person because they're likable and, you know, athletic. And they know at the end they're going to be a lot of competitions. He needs to latch on to whoever that is, because I have not gotten the vibe that he is going to be driving strategically. I could be wrong. We didn't get that much from him, but there were people who in their intro packages who really talked about the strategy and knowing the ins and outs of the format of the game. And I didn't get a lot of that from him. So that would be my only concern with Monty.
If you go on Big Brother, you got to be thinking about what's the package like for me on the show. And I feel like great open slot for somebody. If you go on a season of Big Brother, if you're a personal trainer like Monty, but you're not like super into strategy, then you team up with a strat, maybe like a Michael, you know, a nerdy kind of guy. You personal train him in physical fitness, and he coaches you on strategy, and that's like a super cute segment for the show. The fans will love you.
Yeah, you'll get the vote.
Yep. And you're not talking game. He's just spotting me.
Exactly. That's the trick. Like, oh, we get together. He's like training me, and that's like our cover, but we're actually talking game. And I'm coaching him about strategy while he coaches me about fitness.
Yeah, he's just trying to teach me how to make my abs clap.
Yeah, we need
too soon.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. All right. The next four came in: Alyssa, Daniel, Taylor, and Michael. Melissa, did you get anything from Alyssa? Alyssa
from Melissa.
Alyssa. Yeah. I felt so after watching the initial videos of her, I was not keen, I guess, because I didn't really remember her videos at all, and I felt like she was giving like one-word answers in like her written stuff, so I wasn't getting really anything from her. After her intro package, I definitely felt better about her. I feel like she actually was interested in playing, and she made indications that she, like, originally in her interviews, she had said stuff about like, I want to just like go with the flow, and I'm just going to be myself, and we're just going to see what happens. And then in her intro package, it seemed like she had more there to her in terms of strategy. So I liked that. Her little intro to the house guest was a little bland, where it's just like, I like going to the beach. It's like, well, yeah. So I don't really know what to expect from her, but hopefully she surprises me.
You know who seemed like they were getting a lot of airtime was Alyssa from BB23. They kept showing so many commercials of her. She's trying to get payback on the cookout. What's going on?
Boy.
I mean, they're really just getting a lot of screen time.
Did I also say Alyssa is also designed swimwear? Did I see that correctly? Hear that correctly in the package?
I think so. And she's a poet as well. I believe her line of poetry was "My love is water, take a sip." I believe that was the line I read. I think that's what she said. Hey, whoa, don't whoa me. Whoa.
Wow.
I mean,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Luckily, she didn't say "My love is mayonnaise."
Oh God.
Okay. Oh my God.
That might have been good.
The one thing that stood out about her intro was that she said her mom has been training her for wall comps, you know, for basically her whole life. They would just make them stand up on the fence line and spray them with water.
You're just like waterboarding her kids or something.
Basically, like you will be on Big Brother one day. So yeah,
Get ready for the wall comp.
Just casually saying, yeah, my parents abused me as a child.
Yeah,
I wonder how many eggs she woke up and ate every morning as well, you know, while she was
Get
doing
up
this
and do
intense
some
training.
pull-ups. Yeah.
Exactly. She's not my favorite. She's giving me Angela Rummins vibes. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the vote is interesting this week when it comes to her being a potential, you know, America's vote nominee.
Yeah, she's in the mix also. Let's talk about the person that is our new HOH. It's Daniel, the Elvis impersonator.
I really liked him. I loved in the DR when he was crying about being in the DR. I mean, I feel like I would do the same. So it made me really, understand how much he cares about this game. He says he's been trying to get on for like 10 years. He seems really easygoing and like that he'd get along with people. I am a fan of him for sure. Although I do think it might be a little unfair to give like a professional drummer or whatever, like the
drum puzzle?
competition where you have to put together a drum kit. Like, I feel like he obviously knows, like, this is the kick drum, this is the snare, there's the,
Listen.
it's like he would know where everything goes. Whereas everyone else is like, what the?
Melissa, not to interrupt you, but we've seen people fail at putting together puzzles that were literally their own likeness. 7-piece puzzles that were their own likeness. Like if you can't look at yourself and say the head bone is connected to the neck bone, is connected to the shoulders and the like, come on, man. I thought it was unfair, but at this point, a drum kit, a 7-piece puzzle of yourself, who knows, right? It's anybody's game. Yeah.
And to be fair, when I say like a professional drummer, I don't know if that's what he's been playing in the band, but I do know that there was that image of him playing the drums that showed during his intro package saying that he plays all these different instruments and all these different things. So like, I'm sure he like understands a drum kit.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm with you. And my initial reaction was like, this doesn't seem fair. But then I thought about it. It was like, when has Big Brother ever been fair? So
right. Taran, what's your reaction to our first HOH, Daniel?
It's interesting. So he's a fan, and so I think he probably understands the. This is very true. Look, a lot of people in my chat today were asking like, who do you think is the most likely to Frenchie it up? And my answer was Turner. And I feel like Turner came close. I don't know that Daniel is the Frenchie. I don't know.
I don't get that vibe from him.
I don't think there is a Frenchie.
Yeah, I don't know that
was once in a generation.
Once in a lifetime. Yeah. The energy, he seems like, and maybe this is just sort of the musician vibe, but he seems kind of chill. And I don't know that he's going to have that same energy. Doesn't mean he can't have HOH-itis or screw up in a bad way, but I don't think we're going to get the Frenchie vibe from him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would like to know how many times Big Brother is going to have to tell him to stop singing. Because his whole intro was that I'm a musician and I do music over here and I'm Elvis. And so I could just imagine like every day we had to hear the booming voice of Big Brother saying, Daniel, please shut the F up. But I would be the same way. I like a good song. So I'm happy that Daniel will be around another week because he looks like he's going to be a fun character. There are other people who I would like to see go home.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a very smooth, and I hope I'm wrong about this. I hope that people like play this clip and make fun of me all week, and I got it wrong. But I do think this is actually going to be a very smooth first HOH for Daniel. That I think he has the right temperament, as you alluded to, Taran, to be the first HOH and go with the flow. And I think that he's actually going to be able to, as a super fan, be able to really use this to launch himself into a really good position to start off the game.
Yeah, definitely could be. He is somebody that said in his interviews that the people that he doesn't get along with are primarily like the macho men. So maybe there's a taste of Frenchie there, right? But we could see something where obviously throughout the episode we see. All three of the winners of the group competitions were guys, and then the backstage boss was a man, and then 3 women were chosen to go backstage. So there seems like a gender imbalance right away. However, if Daniel is less keen on gathering up all the bros, we may start to see a shift in power as he goes through his reign, but. We'll see. I think the temptation being there is always a danger.
Right. That Big Brother, that I do feel like that they did attempt to address some of the first nights where we have men being in all of these competitions, and I think they attempted to try to make it as random as possible and have like three. Okay, this one is going to be this one's going to be like a listening. This one's going to be one physical challenge. We're gonna then this one's going to be like a puzzle. And of course, it ends up being all men winning the challenges, and then the backstage boss randomly being a guy who's going to put 3 women up. So I don't know what Big Brother can do, but that I'm sure, like in the production booth, they were not thrilled with this outcome.
Yeah, I do think I think it's hard to really. I think you're right. I think it's hard to really blame the competitions here. I do think they were all pretty equal, but
last
did not
season,
work out.
Taran, I believe when they moved it in groups of 4, that they stacked it where it was four men, 4 men, 4 women, 4 women, which ensured that there would be 2 men and 2 women, moving on from those competitions.
Yeah, that definitely would have been a better way to ensure more, and then really just like lock in a very equal final competition. I think would have been a much better way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, because there's no way a girl is winning that hang on for a long time competition. I mean, well, I'll say there's no way I would win that one. I would have absolutely no shot, and I do feel like the clothes do have something like. Have a little bit of an effect on that type of thing. I mean, they're not all wearing the same thing. Girls are probably like wearing dresses and stuff like that. Like if I'm wearing like nice formal clothes, like I'm not going to be able to like do really anything physical at that point. To be fair, like maybe they should assume that they're going to be doing some sort of competition the first night and maybe not dress up all nice. But you obviously want to look nice for your first time on like TV. So I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Taylor. Now, Chappell, what I really did not appreciate tonight was Taylor coming out and blowing up my spot and telling the world how much I paid for that suit. Okay. Did not appreciate that.
Rob.
And why didn't you wear it on the podcast?
Well, I'm saving it for finale night.
Okay. I'll hold you to that.
Chappelle, he saw our DMs about the slime we were gonna. You were gonna
didn't know, like I don't have my goggles either, so
okay
didn't want to wear my diamond crusted suit.
$18,000 for a suit is impressive. I'm not gonna lie, and she said she sold that. So I mean, if you can do that, I'm assuming that you have some strong persuasive skills. From what I can tell, Taylor is like the chalk pick these days for people who are like really hyping her up, and like based on her bio, because she was saying everything that we like as fans. She was picking our faves and picking the people who are good TV. But I'm worried about Taylor. I think she comes off very strategic and like game focused. Like she has gamer written all over her. Like her game face is on. The way she walks up to the competitions, it's like she just like exudes I'm here to win. Even when she talks about being in the pageant scene, she says, "Oh, I saw Miss Universe 5 years ago, and so decided to be in the pageant. Also, I won, so there's that." It's like, okay, so for her, I would hope that she can maybe like slip under the radar for a little bit, because like I mean, eventually, like once she starts talking to people, they're gonna realize that she is the one who knocks, and so I'm worried about her. I would love to see her win, but man, she just like I would be so intimidated by her in the house as like in a game like this. It would just be like so crazy watching her put the little jewelry on her face. Even I was like, oh, she is so mad that she's not winning this. Like she is mad. That's why the jury's not staying up, because she is mad. So yeah, I am worried about her, but I mean, she would be an iconic player if she's able to make a good run into this season.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see what you're talking about, especially with like the $18,000 dress. Like the last, like if you're a salesman, or the last thing I want to hear from you is like, like I sold that car for $50K, right? Like, come on. Like, I don't want to hear that from you. What I like after the Paloma thing, and I was joking about her interior designing my house. I was like, oh, and Taylor's a personal stylist. She can personal style me. And then she talked about the $18,000 dress, and I was like, Like, even though this was just a joke, like, maybe not. Maybe you're going to try and talk me into some expensive clothes. Like, this isn't the best advertising for your business, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, she would be good TV. Oh my god, if she like made like a Rachel Riley-esque run and she's like talking trash and like just tearing the house apart, that would be amazing. But again, you have to be able to hide that. Big Brother is a marathon. You know, for Celebrity Big Brother, maybe you get away with something like that. But Big Brother, this is 2.5 months going on 3 months of pacing yourself. And so I just don't want her to burn out early because that would be bad.
I really hope she doesn't burn out early because I really like her. I really hope that she can like live up to the hype. I loved her interviews and all the answers she was giving. I think she is a huge fan of the show, and it makes me happy to see that. She's a huge fan of the show and like actually like wants to win and knows kind of what to do to win. I just don't know. Yeah, is she going to be able to pull it off? Are people going to recognize like, oh yeah, she's a huge threat, we need to get her out? I don't know. I will say that like her intro package tonight was a little disappointing just because like I was so excited to see her and I had hoped that she would talk more about like her love of the game. I feel like if I didn't know that she was a fan watching this intro package, it didn't really come across that she was a fan. It kind of just came across like, oh, she's the pageant girl, you know, whatever. She's just here. Like, we don't know, but like, we know that she actually is a fan. We know that she's excited and ready to play and will do what it takes to win. But I feel like there was just a lot of like the cliche, like, I'm ready for my second crown. Like, you know, bing, bing.
Mhm.
So I don't know what they were going for with that, but like, I hope she does well.
As long as she's not the player that goes around like, yeah, you know, those nominations, that was me. Don't worry about it. Like, as long as she's not that, I feel like I'm very excited. I'm very excited for Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Michael, who I think is a pretty interesting player in the house. Michael, that he is a super fan. I see that people are uncovering more and more of his tweets and retweets about Big Brother. He loves seemingly watches the feeds. Also, really into Big Brother. Taran, he seems to have done some research. He says this as a stat.
Statistically, you are almost 4 times as likely to win if you are the first HOH than if you aren't. I have done the math on that.
Okay, 4 times more likely to win if you're the first HOH.
Yeah,
Please confirm.
we did. So we did do a podcast on that a couple of years ago. The winning the first HOH. What kind of advantage does it give you? I don't remember it being 4 times as likely. I think that might be the math on that might be a little off. We had the great Christina come in, and she did a lot of very complicated math that I did not understand. But there is an advantage for sure. It definitely makes you more likely to win the game and make it far. So, you know, he's on the right track.
Okay. All right. Chappell, you have any thoughts on Michael?
Yeah, Michael's another one where I can tell people are really tapped in on Michael doing well. We love a super fan, but also we're weary of super fans because we've been burned before. But for Michael looks like he knows what he's talking about. Even in his intro like video where he's sitting at home, he's like, oh, I watch Big Brother all the time. And he's watching that iconic Janelle, give me that key bitch moment, you know, like that. That's the kind of stuff we want. We want the people to win who you feel like you have been with us in these BB streets, watching and rooting for the same people in the same moments we've been rooting for. Michael also said he needed to win that HOH, but he didn't, you know, so you know, it's one of those things where you needed to do that. So I'm hoping that now that he hasn't won the HOH, he's not the backstage boss, that he knows to go and get in good with the person in power. Like this week is going to like really dictate what I think about Michael as a player, because now that you've identified that winning the first HOH was not yours, you have to make the next step, which is go get in whatever big alliance is about to form. Because if you don't think one is forming, you're just not in it. So I'm rooting for Michael. It seems like fun. So we should have a good time if he lasts for a long time in this season.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope he does well. I loved when he made sure not to be the first one in the house and like winked at the camera as he like let everyone else in. I thought that was fantastic.
Classic move.
I hope that he does well.
Kyle was the first person in the house.
Yes.
Correct.
I think that Michael will hopefully give really good DRs. That's my hope. I'm hopeful that he can get past that like super fan hurdle where it's like, oh, this guy knows the game, get him out. I mean, we saw Kevin do it, so I'm hopeful that we can have another Kevin run to the end. We'll have to see, but so far I've liked what I've seen from him. Plus, he's a lawyer, which I love. So, I'm very excited about him.
Let's talk about the next group that goes into the house. It's Nicole, it's Turner, it's Joseph, and it's Brittany. Okay. How about Nicole? Melissa, any thoughts on Nicole, the former police officer turned personal chef?
I would love to be in a house with her because I would love to eat the food and also learn more about cooking. I think like, why do we not have more chefs? Like what the last one was like Chef Joe, right? Maybe, I don't know, but I would love to have a chef in the house. So they think that's fantastic. I was concerned by some of her answers in the interviews. Cause a lot of it was like, I'm loyal. I want to play a good, like loyal, trustworthy game. That always really concerns me because it shows that they just like put loyalty above like winning, which, can only get you so far. And then you kind of usually lose out. Although like Casey Clark kind of had that same vibe. And maybe it will work for Nicole as well. I don't know. I hope that she actually is there to play and isn't just going to like be a loyal soldier down to the end. But, we'll have to see.
Taran, can I ask you, how much of a sense do you have on the things that people say in the preseason when people say, oh, I'm going to be a loyal player, loyalty, integrity, but then in the actual game, I think that might be like interesting to like research, like the stuff that people tell us in the preseason. Does it actually mean anything when the games start in terms of what type of player they'll be?
I think it tends to line up, but it depends on the circumstances they find themselves in. And I think it also like it also is to do with their personality. So like if they're like all about being a team player, if they're not like if they're not somebody that likes to take initiative, they like to be more of a follower. That's going to hugely impact like how they behave in the game, because it's not usually about honesty and integrity. Like that's not, very few people who have ever played the game have made a decision based on honesty and integrity. They just make a decision that they feel is best for them that happens to coincide with that, right? Like the safe move because it happens to be also the honest and move that has lots of integrity. And so I think like people that say they're going to play with honesty and integrity and they're not like much of a leader and they find themselves in a big group where there's somebody to call the shots, then yeah, they're probably going to be sitting there not doing much all season. If it's somebody who is more of like an impulsive player or somebody that likes to take charge or somebody that finds themselves outside of the majority, then we're probably going to find them doing more stuff.
Okay. Should we talk about Turner?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Dogs say yes. So here's Turner, and that this was a kind of a surprise. That like the thrift store, like was this a thing yesterday?
Yeah.
Is a thrift store owner?
We look. There was other stuff to talk about with Turner.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the thrift store and the van thing, but yeah, it was definitely a thing.
He owns a thrift store.
Yes.
Okay. And he makes art, and he aligns chakras. Yeah.
Does he make art or rugs, or are the rugs the art?
Because
I thought the rugs were the art. Yeah.
I was surprised that he had a CBS logo because he doesn't seem to really know the show all that much at all. So I was surprised to see that. Maybe it was like during the casting process he made that, and I was like,
I think it was just an eyeball and said it was the CBS logo.
He's like very similar.
He's like, I made this CBS logo.
I was like, yeah, they're gonna ask him to remove that intellectual property. They're gonna be like, yeah, that's our trademark. You can't sell that.
He's been watching since season 18, but he's not great with names.
Maybe that's just what it is. He just like doesn't know any of the names.
Yeah, Cody California was the winner of season 22.
Yeah.
I got nothing. This is a person on the show. And I would like for him to be eliminated. If not first, maybe second.
He almost was HOH.
And I was rooting against him. I'm not getting like my favorite Big Brother player vibes from him. His hair is offensive, and I just can't explain why. But I am offended. I feel attacked by it in a way, and that's a me thing. That's not a him thing. That's definitely a me thing. I'm the drama there, but it's just I need him out of the house, and so I don't know how that's going to happen. But I want them to remove him soon.
Okay, all right.
I feel
yes.
like I'm interested to see how he is in the house. Like I feel like he's like surrounded by so many like rumors and like problematic things. I'm interested to see like how he actually is in the house. I feel like Big Brother, like the live feeds are like the ultimate decider on like, or I guess like ultimate demonstration of like who you are as a person, like actually like when it comes down to it. So, I mean, obviously like tensions are always high in the Big Brother house. And sometimes people say stuff that they like, whatever, regret. But like, I do feel like if he is a bad person, like you will see that on the live feeds, or at least like, I mean, eventually, maybe not in the beginning, but you'll certainly get a taste of like who this person actually is. So it'd be interesting to see like how he is on the live feeds and like trying to withhold like some judgment until then.
Yeah, no doubt. I actually think that he's going to be fitting in well to start off. I feel like that the first like week or two of the Big Brother season is like a party. Seems like a very like outgoing guy. I feel like that he's going to be very friendly, and I think that it's probably going to avoid being on the block here in the early going. But I think then eventually, I think people are going to get very tired of him.
Right. And a lot of people are making their decisions based off of like hearsay and things people said about, which is what we do here. Let's be very clear. This is what we do.
Yeah, I mean, like what else do we have?
Right.
Yeah.
But for me, it's not even that. For me, I just didn't, the cut of his jib and my jib, we just weren't jibbing together. And that's okay. That's okay.
The wrong jibs.
The wrong
jibs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about Joseph, because he is not somebody that we have had the chance to talk about. And here comes Joseph. And listen, another lawyer.
Another lawyer.
I'm
happy.
Yeah.
You got to have more lawyers. I wonder what they're going to say, or whether they're going to say that they're a lawyer or whether they're going to say that they're some other thing.
Yeah.
Get one of those Spider-Man memes going.
Okay. So here comes Joseph. He works out every day, even the holidays. There's no break in working out for Joseph.
Good for him. I think like I'm a little confused though as to like what he's doing on the show, because it doesn't seem like, I mean, he seems like a very nice guy, don't get me wrong, but like it seems like he like has his stuff together like professionally, and like he also like does a lot of charity work and is like very keen on like having that image of like, you know, helping people, and which is great, and I'm all for that. But it does seem like I'm a little worried. Like, I mean, don't you know that you go on Big Brother and get your reputation totally tarnished?
Well,
like, if he's not a fan of the show, like, I don't know what
I think you're answering your own question. He's not a fan of the show, so he doesn't know to not go on the show.
Yeah,
I think maybe he is just trying to like promote like his charity work and everything, like, and thinking that this could be a good platform for him. And turns out like this is like the worst platform if you're trying to like do anything.
So he did talk. He volunteered about how if romance is going to come his way, it's possible. Is he a holdover from the Love Island era of CBS casting? Did they have the name on file? Yeah. It's like, well, we're not doing Love Island anymore. How about Big Brother?
I mean, let's not forget he was an alternate, so he was not selected. He did not get the call. So all of this is like, okay, who can we get right now? We do have Joseph. I mean, I'm happy that they picked Joseph because we don't get a lot of Asian representation on the show. And so it's kind of like, oh, okay, cool. It'd be nice, you know, because they said diversity and heard black. And so I'm like, okay, CBS, like there are other people you can include as well. It's fine. And so I'm happy, but I agree. I think he's too nice for this show.
I'm worried he's too nice. Like I'm worried he doesn't have like the fight in him to win. I mean, I hope I'm proved wrong, because like I I do like him, as it seems like he has a good personality in terms of like a kind heart, but I'm worried about Big Brother for that, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Very few
and he
people are
seems
too
hella
nice for
boring.
Big Brother.
I don't know about that. But I think he has been hella boring in the little preseason press that we got. I mean the short clips, and this episode I have not moved, so I'm hoping maybe somebody inserts some drama into his life. I mean, that will make it difficult for him on the show, but honestly, I want him to be good TV as well. We want to be able to stand these characters, and the boring ones, they don't do nothing for me. So I'm rooting for Joseph, but I just really want him to spice things up.
Yeah, it's a really small sweet spot for where too boring and then also too exciting. That we're really like it's tough to stick
So
that landing.
it's a middle ground.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe somebody will be able to do
window.
it. Yeah. Okay. And then let's talk about Brittany, who I've been very excited to watch in this season. We got the hypnotherapist, and the thing about like for a professional person coming on to Big Brother, that as a fan of the show, it's like, oh, okay, that Big Brother is just going to really just trivialize this profession that I've spent my professional career working on, aren't they? Like,
yes, Rob.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
This will be a big joke. And then also the other thing that I feel like that we didn't get from her yesterday, at least I missed it, was that she is a competitive what is it? That is
Belly dancer?
Competitive belly dancer. I was say
Belly
hula
dancer.
dancing. Competitive belly dancer.
Yeah.
Yes. One of my grandmas used to be a competitive belly dancer, so
Oh,
I
wow.
feel like I'm in the know.
Mhm.
I went to a class with her once.
Okay.
Yes.
I get it. No, I think Brittany is very interesting. I love that she's a season 1 viewer, just like me. I feel a special kinship to her in that way, but I feel I'm worried about her fitting in. I hope that she can fit in. But she is like it seems like she's a little much. But I don't know, maybe that was just like her playing it up for the, intro videos and all that sort of stuff. But I am excited to see what she does. She seems to at least like very much care about the strategy of the game. She has that notebook, and she says that she's like been over a bunch of strategy things. So yeah, I am, I'm excited to see what she can do.
Where are the still shots of Brittany's notebook, Twitter?
I saw
Trust
one.
your gut.
I saw one. Who had posted it? It said that she had said, hypnotize the other house guests and yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, and build rapport. So
Was she
like
giving
that.
herself advice, or was she writing down taglines? Because
I think she was. It could have been either, but I do think she was giving herself advice.
Well, I really like Hoops. Brittany Hoops, that's her name. I think we should call her Hoops. I think that's a cool name. But
good nickname.
I like her a lot because when the wacky character goes far into the game, I think you get some good action. Is that was it Christy, the one who knew Tommy? I mean, or whatever in that one season. Like, she went far and she was incredible television. And like, say what you want about that season, she was one of the driving factors of like why it is watchable at times. And so yeah, give me somebody wacky, like Brittany, who knows the game. I think Christy had a really good eye for the game, and I think that if Brittany has this notebook, she's knowledgeable enough to do well. But the way she presented her notebook and the way Michael presented their notebooks are two different ways. Michael's like, I wrote down all of this stuff so I can prepare for the game. Brittany said, I wrote down all this stuff of things I want to try while in the house. That's not the same. That is not the same. This is like, oh yeah, I've been working on these strategies. They're not tested, but like, I just feel like this is the time
It's
to
my
work them
bucket
out.
list. Yeah.
Right. This is not the time for you
Like,
to go
eat
in and have a
stuff.
funeral week 1. Yeah, like she's like,
Brittany's funeral.
Right. She's just like come up with all this stuff already because she's so ready to play the game. So I understand that. Like, it's probably like you have a list of things you want to do. You probably want to be a part of like a split house or a house meeting and all this other stuff. But to have a binder of that and be like, these are the things I want to accomplish while in the house. I just want you to win. Just try to win. That's all we want. And we want good TV.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
Yeah, but like, don't be in there just squandering your game because you want it this time. You know, you're just like, I think I kind of want to vote myself out and see if I can get back in. Like, I don't want that. So that's the reason why I'm kind of taking back on Brittany. But if I have to vote today, I'm voting for Brittany to save Brittany, because you could see the intensity in her eyes in every still shot of the preseason that she wants to be there, and so I support that.
Mhm.
I definitely would be worried for Brittany's safety. She's basically the only person that was actively chosen to go backstage because there wasn't a first one out of the jewelry challenge. And I don't think that was accidental. I think that just the vibes she was giving, you know, she ended up being the person that Pooch picked. And so if that's going to maintain its course, then I think she might be an early outcast, especially now that she is backstage and has no vote and could be potentially in danger. So winning a fan vote would definitely help counteract that. But since the thing is open until Thursday, she'll have to prove herself on the feeds, I imagine.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the last four and talk about one of my favorites. Here's Terence. He is a bus driver, but Chappelle.
Operator.
This was sorry, bus operator. The big news we got is that Terence is also that he moonlights as DJ Showtime, Chicago's hottest karaoke DJ.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where I was like, that sounds about right. I love Uncle Terence here. This is my guy. I don't know why he's here. I don't know why. Like, I love my father, and I would never let him do something like this. So for his kids to sit there on the couch and be like, Dad, go live your dream, I'd be like, no, Dad, do not, because this is about to get really bad. This is not smart. If you like driving buses and being a DJ, this might not be the move for you, because you might get out of the house and there might not be a bus for you to drive anymore. You don't know. The Big Brother fans are ruthless. And so that aside, I don't know what Terence is doing in the house, but I want him to go as far as he can. We know that the older guy normally goes out, or the older contestants normally go out kind of early. But I'm just afraid they're just going to run circles around him. I really wanted to see him win this first HOH. I really wanted to see that, just to give him like a week of this like cushion where he can like form some bonds and be a part of something big. Because when you start to exclude people, you look for the people who don't look like everybody else. And that doesn't always mean a minority as far as like race. Sometimes it could just be your age or anything that makes you stand out. And so I'm not loving his odds.
2018.
Yeah. RIP Steve, or wherever he is. But yeah. So yeah, for me, it's hard to weigh in on Terence, because I would like to see Terence do well, but I got nothing so far. So fingers crossed.
He has kids, and does anyone else have kids?
I think so.
I don't remember. I feel like I don't feel like anyone else had kids. And I feel like that's kind of like, if someone else has kids, you can kind of like bond with them.
Maybe Brittany
on that.
Yeah, Brittany
has kids. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, at least there's that. He doesn't seem
4 kids.
He doesn't seem old, I guess. Like,
with that fedora, yes, he does.
Well,
take that damn hat off, Terence.
Maybe the fedora, but I do feel like it's not as apparent as like, oh, this, especially because he's not that old. He's like
as a
40
parent
something. I don't know. So I do think that like there is a chance that he could kind of just like connect with the other people in the house. I mean, especially with like his little like his DJ thing, like maybe he can connect with people in that way. I don't know. The music thing, he's got that. And then Daniel's music, I don't know. But anyway, I'm hopeful that maybe he can find an inroad somewhere. The only thing is, like, I don't know if he has the drive to win. I don't know if he has the strategy. The drive to win. Bus driver, or bus operator, sorry. So I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, it's tough, you know, when you're like the older contestant.
Yeah,
or whatever.
But the producers fed him a great line.
I'm really gonna throw people under the bus, and I mean it.
Love it.
I mean it.
I love that. I love his DJ alter ego. It's very Duke Silver. I'm into it.
DJ Showtime. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
I just really want him to take that hat off.
Yeah. I want to be a karaoke DJ. I feel like that I could get in on the karaoke DJ. No, Chappelle? No?
How do you
no.
karaoke DJ? Isn't the whole point that you choose your own karaoke songs?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, that's going to be, all right, let me put this in the computer. 8714.
No,
All right,
trust
here
me
you
on this
go.
one.
Is he one
It's
of
a
those
dirty
karaoke
job.
It's
DJs
a
that
dirty job?
that
Oh, you have
sings,
to
like,
tell them
even-
the song.
Well, he like
It's
makes you listen to him sing between every song. Like I've seen those DJs where they're like, okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna call the next person, but first I'm gonna do a quick little number here. Free
Little ditty.
bird.
Right. But I think the challenge is just sort of like, all right, come on, who's getting up here? Chappelle, come on. I know you want to
No.
get up here. You want to do a song.
No,
You want to do this. Melissa,
No.
Melissa,
Stop
come on. If
Listen.
you're up, Melissa.
This
That's
it's
usually
not.
me in the karaoke place trying to get
It's
everyone
not
else
all
to
it's
do
cracked up to
karaoke.
be. It's
Yeah.
not all it's cracked up to be. First of all, 8,000 people are going to try to sing The Climb by Miley Cyrus, and it's all going to be bad. Number one.
Mhm.
So that's the first problem. Then when everybody gets up there and requests the same song over and over again, you have to be the bad guy to be like, well, we can't do Don't Stop Believing because we just did Don't Stop Believing. Do you know any other Journey songs? They're like, no, I don't. What kind of DJ is this?
Yeah.
Like, it is a dirty job. And you also have to sit through really, really bad singing a lot. And then when you find the person who sings really well, they think it's showtime at the damn Apollo, and they want to keep getting
DJ
up there and
Showtime at
singing.
the Apollo.
Exactly, a problem because they get up there over and over and over again. Like, baby, this is not your ticket to American Idol. You're not
Well,
going to Hollywood based off of this performance.
Chappelle, here
their job.
is Terence's ace in the hole for not going on the block this week. He knows old music, and that is what Daniel does for a living.
Oh yeah, so
He knows every Elvis song.
there are a few people who can bond on the music front. Terence is one of them, I believe. The one with the offensive hair. Turner also plays the guitar. So I could see like a music alliance type situation happening. But I'm telling you, being a karaoke DJ is not what it's cracked up to be. Look, it's so bad. It's so bad, and people don't know when to stop. You have to like physically remove the mic from people's hands. It's dirty work. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
If he can do that, maybe he is long for this game because it's tough.
All right. How about Indy?
I'm interested to see her in the house. I feel like I don't really know much about her still.
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of her answers in the interviews were either short or she was like, I don't really understand the question. So I don't know, I don't know exactly like how she's gonna play. She seems to be like a fun person and like it seems easy to get along with. So I would hope that like that could help her. But I don't know if she has the strategy because it doesn't seem like she's like a huge fan of the show anyway. So I don't know if she like fully understands the strategy behind Big
Well,
Brother.
she
We'll
said
just have
she
to see.
knows Big Brother Brazil.
Is that the same format though?
Yeah, Taran, yeah.
It's very, very big, very popular. They get like millions and millions of votes for the evictions, but my understanding is that it's fan vote based. So if that is her understanding of Big Brother coming in, there could definitely be a little bit of a shock. She said she's addicted to US Big Brother now, but according to her interviews, she basically just watched the last season. So we'll see.
Yeah. And she was like, when Javier won. He's like, I like the winner, of course. Xavier.
Yeah.
I like her. She when she said like, oh, look, I'm funny, but I'm funnier in Portuguese. I'm like, yes, tell them.
I thought that was funny. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, she really got to know that this is the moment to strike. The first week, second week, this is kind of when things are forming in front of you. And if there's not like a twist, or if she's not some crazy challenge competitor, she will get left behind. So I'm hoping that she is able to like really kind of just ingratiate herself into the house because I would like to see her go far. She seems cool. So we shall see. And she said she likes to cook. And we talked about Nicole being a personal chef, but cooking is like OG strategy in Big Brother. Like that is some classic Big Brother strategy. You be the person in the kitchen, you hear everything, you see everybody and what room they're going into for the most part, and people come to you because they want food and they don't want to vote you out because you feed them. So I think that could be great for her, especially because Brazilian food is delicious.
Okay. Let's talk about Pooch. Big night for the Pooch.
Big night.
Big pooch night.
Big pooch night. Yeah. Melissa, you love pooches.
I do love pooches. I don't know about this pooch, but maybe I will. Who knows? I thought that
Coach Pooch.
I felt like I liked him more when he was in the house, and because I felt like he was kind of funny with his like hesitance to like, or like I guess reluctance to like do any of it, and being like, oh, thanks, Julie, I guess, like not wanting this to be put in this position at this point. So I thought that was kind of funny. I feel like I think people are going to automatically associate him with like Cody. And I think
Cody, California?
Cody, California. And I feel like that's concerning because, you know, people are going to think of him as a threat, I think. I mean, especially because, oh, now he's got this power and, you know, I don't know. But he is a fan of the show. Some of his interviews, his answers in the interviews were pretty good. I liked them. I liked when he talked about Dr. Will being one of his favorites. I mean, I always love that. So it makes me think like, hopefully they'll play like a fun, entertaining game and not take it too seriously. I mean, that's the hope. But, you know, I pointed this out on Twitter that he did kind of slip a little when he said like, hey, if someone's coming after my boys or a girl that I'm working with, it's like, okay, so like clearly you intend to like work with your boys and like, oh, whoops, I guess maybe a girl. And then you see him pick all 3 girls for this like backstage pass. It is I mean, obviously like he did say like, okay, well, I'm going to do, I think he said, I'm going to do like people who fell first and went out first in the competition.
Yeah, but that was convenient.
But then on the last opportunity, like, it's like, you could make it fair by being like, okay, there's 2 women here. Like, I'm going to pick a guy just to kind of even things out a little. And instead he picked another girl. And I'm not going to say that like tells me everything, but it certainly doesn't just like disaffirm or dispute the claim that maybe he's a bros guy. And I'm a little concerned about that. I hope that that's not the case. I hope that it's not, I'm all about the boys and I, you know, get these girls out, girls alliance, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know, but I'm hoping that's not it.
I mean, I feel like we missed the question we needed to ask when we started the podcast, which is, did Big Brother screw the pooch?
No, I think they propped him up.
Yeah, I mean, is someone going to screw the pooch? He says he's not looking for a showman's per se, but I don't think he's turning one down either.
I mean, I don't think he's exactly. Yeah.
you know, he gives me the vibes of somebody who is used to being in charge of stuff, and at a very young age. Like, he's a football coach. He has his master's and he has an MBA, and he's getting an MBA in sports management. So he's not a follower. It doesn't seem. And so I can imagine him to be a part of trying to lead some big alliance, whether it's guys or a mixture or whatever. And so like, this is kind of the thing that if he can't be HOH, I think this is the best case scenario for him, just to have like a week where he can start to try to dig his feet in and try to build a structure where he can't be voted out. And so I kind of like that for him. I don't know if I'm rooting for him because he just seems to take himself a little too seriously. Like, this is Big Brother, and it felt like he was in a business meeting with his mom about the show. Like, just go have some fun. And so I would hate to see him win if he's going to have that attitude, though. If he's going to be like such a straight shooter and so boring and bland. Like, I don't want that. I want a good, entertaining winner. You don't even have to be the best. I just want you to entertain me. And so that's what I'm rooting for the pooch here. I see people, they're not a fan of his name. I think this cool name. Like, I like Pooch.
You like Pooch?
Yeah, I like the name. Yeah, I think that's a cool name. And so I'll go with it. But I don't know. The fans don't seem to be high on Pooch right now.
Not feeling the Pooch.
I think he made the right call. First person out, especially like whether or not it was true. Playing up the fact, I don't even know. I didn't even see who was the first one out.
Where am I? What is this?
Can you guys just tell me who it is?
I was wondering if anyone was going to be like, oh, it wasn't me. I don't know who
I was hoping.
Who was it?
But I mean, that's by far his best call there. You don't want to be picking people if you can't help it. And I can fully buy that he didn't realize until after he had picked Brittany, oh crap, that's 3 women. Considering the fact that he probably didn't see who was out first. And he also didn't notice the giant golden chair as he went went up the stairs, walked right by it. Like, where am I going? Is there some place for me to sit somewhere? Yeah, the giant golden chair right next to you. Where? Oh, I didn't see that.
Sit, Pooch.
Not the most observant.
No,
Yeah.
went right past it. Yeah. All right. How about Amira? Here's Amira, the last person that we get introduced to. Get this. Amira works from home. Boy, what is that like?
What?
Can I relate?
Yeah. Works from home?
Relatable.
So weird.
Did she say she worked at Google? Is that what she said?
Did she? Or did she say
I
she
don't
worked
know,
at
she
Googie?
said- well, she didn't say that, but I don't know what she said. Did she say Google? She said I work at something, but then I was like, oh wait, I don't know if they would like bring up Google,
Okay.
like
Yeah, it was
on the
Google.
thing.
Yes.
Was it? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, okay, interesting. But I honestly liked her a lot more than I did in her videos or interviews, because I felt like she in her interviews she had talked about like playing a loyal game and like wanting to take your number one ally and not wanting to go against anyone. And then in this intro package she was like, I'll do what it takes to win. And I was like, okay, that's what I want to see. So I liked her a lot more in this intro package. And I hope that's the kind of play we get from her and not the like, I want to play a loyal game. So we'll see.
Okay.
I liked her less on the show than I did in the intro package.
Oh.
Because, I mean, in the like bios and stuff. Because one of the things that stood out to me is that she really loves to travel and be on the road and to see the world. And like, ma'am, you're locking yourself in a house with crazy people for 3 months. None of that's going to happen. And if you're anything like that, like if that's what you enjoy, you are robbing yourself of like your primary source of happiness to go sit around people who would like nothing more than to backstab you and lie to your face. I don't think this is the house for you. I really don't. I think that you could be better off on your own, chilling on the beach, working from home. But like me, I mean,
You didn't
this
need
is
to do
not the
this.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did not need to do this. So I am concerned because just like I just could see her like week 2 or 3 being like, just vote me out. It's over. Like I just got to get out of this house. Like there are going to be days, whole weeks where you don't even see the backyard for the most part. I just don't know if this is the show for you, if that's what you like. But she says she's strategic. She doesn't want them to view her strategic. So like Melissa was saying, she was saying the right things, but man, it just sounds like you are not this extroverted. This is not for you, at least not around people. Like you might like to go out and do stuff, but I just don't see her as somebody who everyone's going to want to gravitate around and keep around. Maybe she could be somebody who gets picked off just because they're not fitting in or they're not as outgoing or they didn't talk to the HOH, that excuse. But I'm concerned about her.
I feel like I'm so surprised that she said she works at Google. I feel like we have never seen anybody bring up the name of the company they work for in their intro package. I feel like it's either like they own their own business, so they bring it up, or they're like, I'm a lawyer or I'm this and that. Like, I feel like if I were on the show and I would be like, I work at Red Bull would be like, please do not mention us. We don't know her. Like, I just feel like it's such a bad.
Didn't Claire say she worked at Microsoft, or am I imagining that?
I don't know. Claire said.
I thought she said that in her. I thought she like mentioned her job like title, but then in the on the live feed she mentioned she works at Microsoft. But I don't remember people ever.
Are you surprised?
That's a great point, though.
Yeah. Are you surprised that CBS allowed it in there? Or you're surprised?
No,
that
I'm surprised
Google...
that Google allowed it. Like I think Red Bull would absolutely try to distance themselves from me. They probably would fire me if I like went on the show. Like I don't think they'd be like, this is our employee. Let's mention.
Yeah.
Like I mean, people like ruin their lives on Facebook.
Well, I was about to say, all you need to do is quickly Google it, but then I realized not if they don't want you to know.
The pooch has spoken.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those things where she did the exact opposite of what you want to do when you go on Big Brother. You want to hide your entire life from the FBI.
Yeah, don't tell them where you work because then you put the wrong person on the block. People are going to be writing to Google.
Could you imagine the phone calls Google gets about Big Brother now? All of a sudden,
Google help. Like,
could I please speak to somebody at Google HR?
Right.
There's
I
a
would be like,
Typing
woman
into
that
Google,
works there.
what do you do
Help.
if a Google employee is problematic on Big Brother?
I'd like
That-
to voice a complaint.
Just
how do
search
I
it in
keep?
Google.
How do I put her on the block this week? What do I have to do? Yeah, I'm just like, that's just the wrong tactic. That's what I'm thinking.
Having a very bad user experience.
Yeah, I'm just like, maybe just keep that to yourself. That's why I think she didn't know what she signed up for. Like, I know she wants to play the game, but just
Is she a fan
these
of
are
the
rookie
show?
mistakes.
Did she say that?
She did say she liked the show.
She said she's seen 23, 16, 10, and Big Brother Canada 6.
So I feel like not
And is a
like
fan
a
of-
fan
Not a
because
fan.
she's
She's
like
a fan of
through the
Nicole
recruitment
She's a fan of Nicole Franzel. She's heard that people don't like her in later seasons, but she liked her in 16.
Oh,
Okay,
so
so
maybe
she
you haven't done
clearly
her
like
research.
watched this show like after applying or something, or
Mhm,
like after
yeah.
getting the call to like move on to like second round or whatever.
required
So,
readings.
yeah, exactly. That makes a lot more sense because yeah, I was very surprised. but
Rookie
I-
mistakes.
we'll see. I hope she does well.
All right. Those are our 16 house guests. I feel like that we've talked about the different competitions all the way through. Tara, was there any other moments from tonight that we want to highlight here?
I mean, we've now gone longer than the premiere itself.
Gone longer
so-
than the premiere, but that's not unusual for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As DX would point out if he was on this podcast. That we've gone longer than the show itself. No, I mean, I feel like obviously we've got these potential twists. Who knows? One thought I was having was, given again the fact that the vote is going to last until Thursday, perhaps there'll be something where, like, because Julie also says something about like just like being voted out might not be the end. Like, what if the person voted out has to compete against one of the backstage pass people, like opposite world style, to survive, or maybe the challenge style, to survive, to stay in the game. The winner stays, loser is out. Something like that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Guess we'll see. Expect the unexpected. That's how it goes. All right. Any other closing thoughts before we tell you what else is coming up this week, Melissa or Chappelle?
I'm excited for the draft.
Okay. All right.
And I'm excited for the season.
All right.
You know, we're here. We did it. We made it through
We
this.
made it, guys.
These last month has been difficult. And so, you know, we can complain because that's what we come here to do. But we got a good summer ahead of us. Terrence about to take us through the live feeds. We're back, baby. Let's do it.
We're back.
Let me tell you,
Okay.
I'm about to jump on the Terence bus. So if you better get out of my way in that draft.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's talk about what's coming up next. All right. So tomorrow morning, look for the first live feed update. The feeds are coming up about an hour from now. And then in the morning, Taran, if you want to go to bed, Taran's going to stay up, tell you about it all tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Of course, that will be live. It's very fun to come and chat along with the other viewers live. Go to robinsonwebsite.com for that. And then, all right, here we go. On Thursday night, we will be drafting. Okay. We will know our HOH and maybe who could potentially be in trouble. But how will that affect the big draft that's going to be on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern? Melissa, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm gonna win this year.
I'm going to be working on the draft order all day tomorrow.
Please don't trick me into doing something bad.
Never. Okay. So join us live for that coming up on Thursday night. We will have also Challenge USA coverage. I know a lot of people in the chat are talking about that. People watched it, said it was great tonight. We will have a lot of coverage coming your way, starting with I'll have an exit interview with the latest person or persons eliminated from the challenge. We'll be having exit press all season long, and I'll have either Brian or Allie from our challenge RHAP up with me for those. And then be on the lookout for Brian and Allie to bring you the full recap of the Challenge USA episode number 1 coming up on Thursday. So look for our chief challenge correspondents, Allie Lasher and Brian Cohen, to bring you coverage every single week of the Challenge USA. Of course, make sure you subscribe to everything we're doing for our Big Brother podcast feed. Go to robbinswebsite.com/BB24. Or for all things Rob's Podcast, go to robbinswebsite.com/subscribe to subscribe to each of our shows feeds. We have a lot going on for Big Brother for the patrons of Rob's Podcast. This is a incredible time to become a patron. That's a supporter of Rob's Podcast because you get a lot of bonus content every single week here during the Big Brother season. Starting on Friday, Taran and I will be doing the BB Q&A call-in show. We will be taking your calls live on Friday afternoons, talking about the latest going on in the Big Brother house. There's always a lot of moving parts on a Friday because of the new HOH. So a lot of intrigue going on. Taran and I will take your questions live on Fridays. That is only for the patrons of Rob's Podcast. And on Monday nights, I will be with you to talk about all the nonsense going on, both in the Big Brother house and outside on the Slop. That's the weekly show where I talk about all of the nonsense in the Big Brother world, not to mention the patron 5 for 5 that I do with the First Lady of Podcasting and our Rob's Podcast community on Facebook and Discord, including our Rob's Podcast Facebook group. Just some of the benefits you get when you become a patron of Rob's Podcast. That's at robbinswebsite.com/patron. And for premiere week only, we have a great offer for you. You get 2 months for free on an annual membership here during premiere week of Big Brother 24 at robbinswebsite.com/patron. So a once a year offer for a annual membership for Rob's Podcast patrons. All right. And then that's it. You know where to be. Make sure you hit the subscribe button here on YouTube if you're watching us live to join us after every single episode of Big Brother. Of course, on Tuesday nights, Taran, Melissa, and a guest will bring you the BB Roundtable. And then in addition to that, join Taran every single morning for the live feed update at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific.
There you go.
And that's that. That's our night one recap. Okay, Melissa, what's coming up for you?
A lot of this. Yeah, definitely a lot of this.
Okay. All right. Well, good to have you back, Melissa. Chappell, what's coming up for you?
Not enough of this. I'm going to leave Big Brother in y'all's hands, and I thank y'all so much for letting me be a guest today. It was fun. But you and I, Rob, are still covering Netflix shows on Nothing But Netflix. Last week, we talked about The Man from Toronto with Kirsten McInnes as our guest, and this week we will be covering, I think, How to Build a Sex Room on Netflix. And I believe we have a potential guest in mind as well. I haven't really talked to you about that yet, but Puya says he'd be down to talk us through how to build a sex room. And so I personally told him no, but
brand new home improvement series coming to Netflix.
Of course, yeah. Give him the explanation of that. But yeah, so Nothing But Netflix. We're talking about all the hard hitting like shows here. From Men from Toronto to Building Sex Rooms. And then of course every week I'm on the Purple Pants podcast with Bryce Isaiah and Dr. Sharia Lloyd talking about P-Valley season 2. And so check me out there or Nothing But Netflix, or follow me on Twitter at Chappelle's_show, where I am tweeting out the links to the podcast I'm doing and probably talking a lot of trash about Big Brother 24.
Okay. All right. Taran, what's next for you?
What's next for me is I'm going to be back on Twitch in just about an hour when the feeds kick off, watching them as they go live, seeing what happens, reacting in the moment, hanging out, watching with people. So come and join me, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong.
Okay. Very nice to be back here for the kickoff of Big Brother season. Thanks everybody who joined us live, and of course to everybody listening after the fact. It's going to be a fun 84 days or so. Taran, do we know?
Yes, it's 80 or so days. Yeah, I think it's maybe 80, 81. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much for joining us, and enjoy all of the Big Brother coming your way. Take care. Have a good one.